Introducing the 3-part options course with Hans Albrecht. Get access for free by scanning this QR code or clicking on the link in the description.
Hey guys, welcome back. Hope you had a great week. So last week we had a little bit of upside, but then you can see we went sideways. And we ended up having a little bit of selling Thursday, breaking support and having a follow through on Friday. So we are sitting at a very decisive point in the market. I know I have a bunch of lines. These are all the potential paths that I have marked for myself. So let me explain to you some of the paths. So I'm going to keep the obvious ones here. You can see here, if I zoom out, I've shown you this channel many times. So I'm going to peek fast, top of the channel. So if we were to reject, and you can see, well, this is the previous level of support. To be bullish, we must get supported immediately. And we must, you can see, this is the channel holding as support. So this is ideally the level to hold. And if we do hold, we will continue moving higher into 6250 and 6330. That's the bull path. The bear path is, let's say we cannot hold support and we end up breaking below 5850, then we very likely sell into 5730 and even into 5600 and lower. So you can see this. This is the channel. We're holding right at the channel. If we get supported, we continue moving higher. Otherwise, we likely have a quick sell to the bottom. We look at QQQ again. You can see we broke out, had a little bit of upside, but we stayed sideways and we came back into the channel. So same as the rest of the market. You can see here, if I drew a trend line, we are on support. So either you can see we get supported here and we continue moving higher to the top of the trend line here on QQQ, or if we fail the previous level of support at 496, then we likely come down into 480 and even into 460, 450 on QQQ. So again, very important to get supported now, or we are going to be very weak in the market. Again, the dollar is against the weekly level of resistance here. So if the dollar gets rejected here, could give a little bit of relief for the market. And even the 10-year, you can see it's trying to break out, but we haven't broken out yet. So let's see, this 4.48 is the resistance level. If that breaks, we're very likely going to have an explosive move. However, you can see it's struggling to get above, so we could have a little bit more digestion to the downside. IWM, similarly, I mentioned how 225 was the pivot. You can see we've come back down to retest it. So as long as we hold, as long as you can see here, as long as we hold this level, we can still push and continue higher. We break that. You can see this is where we started this channel all the way in December of last year. We break that, then we're going to come back into 200, 208. So yeah, it's super important to hold here to move higher. We look at the wicks for clues again. You can see here we bounced off of support and this is the gap fill. So again, ideally, if it rejects 17, then the market gets rejected and comes down to test $11. My other bet is even if it may try to fill half the gap and then come back down. So I would only be bearish the market if Wix can get over 21.47. It needs to prove itself a lot more. And again, you can see here I have another trend line here and we're sitting right at the trend line. So it'll be interesting to see whether we actually go up to fill that gap on Wix. So yeah, with that being said, let's look at this week's watch list. We go back to Amazon. Now that it had a little bit of selling, we can trade it again. And you can see here, this ideally, as long as we stay over 197, I'm bullish Amazon. So for me, we need to get over 204, 205. We break that, then I think we can still go test the top of the channel at 222, 225. So yeah, for me, as long as we break 205 at minimum, I think we can test 210. It is due for a bounce on Amazon. So that's why I have Amazon on this week's watch list. LULU, I discussed this. It didn't sell off that week, but you can see here, it's trying to reject this weekly level of resistance. So yeah, as long as for that, this is a good start, but we need follow through. So that's why I put it on this week's watch list. So you can see here, this is the level of support. So if we can get below 315, 314, then LULU can sell 310, 300 pretty easily. This again, your stop would be 330. Break of 330 means, we're pretty much going to head up to 380, 390. So yeah, that's why I have LULU on this week's watch list. The next one I have is UPST again. The reason for that is another one I've discussed in the past. I mentioned how if we break over this, it's going to have a breakout. You can see had a bullish move. Now it's trying to digest that move and it's digesting at the previous high. So as long as 68, 69 holds, I think UPST still has more room to the upside. So as long as that holds, I think UPST can go back up to retest 85 and even 100. So you can keep an eye on that. So obviously I would like, let's say 65 As long as you hold 65, I think 100 is possible. If you break 65, then we'll probably come back into 45 again. So yeah, UPST looking good as long as we hold above 68. Yeah, last but not the least, I have LLY. Again, it's following through. I've discussed this many times, and you can see here, we had a breakdown, went sideways. Now we're trying to follow through. So this is next area of support it needs to break. You break 745, 740, then you can see here that we have a gap fill all the way down to 665. So yeah, we need to break this to follow through to this. So that is what I'm looking to see if LLY does. It could again just have an oversold bounce off the support, in which case I'd watch again the 786 area to reject and come back down. So yeah, those are my levels on LLY, and that's all I have for this week. I hope you have a great day.
Subscribe to LaDuc Trading YouTube channel for more Wolf's weekly wave list videos and other content.